All right, hello, welcome to this week's video. Over here at Trevor's, got some issues happening, so I'm just gonna let him talk about it because it's about a week since issues have happened.
Yeah. So this all started out as a car would smoke at idle, and it was fueling the PC or the catch can. So changed PCV valve. It was easy, cheap. And while we were in there, noticed that the intake side of the valves were extremely dirty and carboned up. So taped everything off, walnut blasted the valves, and in the process of that, some dumb dick left the ratchet on the crank, and we hit the button, and it loosened and spun out of time. So Ford, not being normal and not having just a keyed crankshaft and just having washers on there like dicks, made it so easy for it to just come right out of time, and got everything put back together that night. We're like, damn, this thing feels like it has no compression when we were turning it over. And went to start it, nothing, just kind of crushed my soul. And then pulled a compression test on it, 0 pounds. And a couple days before that, when it was smoking, it was 150 across the board. And now I'm still battling somewhat of a timing issue. It was running. I just took it back apart because I was getting like 2-3 degrees of negative correction and 5 when I would really beat the piss out of it. And that's yucky. I don't like that. So tearing it back apart again to see if there's another timing issue, because it was a crankshaft position correlation code that it was throwing. So I believe it's still just a nut hair out of time. And, well, if you're ever using the book from FS Works.
Can you? Yeah, actually, you're good.
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
You gotta cut! But if you're ever using a book from FS Works, it's printed offline, don't trust how they tell you to time it, because it's all pissed up. But basically the end of the cams have this ridge in them that's like keyed, and you're supposed to be able to, where'd the timing tool go? Take this, slide it on there, it'll sit in the ridge of that cam, and it should line up in this one. But my exhaust cam's off, and your lobes on this end and that end of each cams, these should be pointing up towards each other, and these should be pointing down, like they're getting ready to push down on those sets of valves. But it's not lined up right, so it needs taken all back apart for like the 3rd time. That's loud. And I'm slowly losing my mind over it. I had such pure intentions of doing this. I just wanted to change that PCV, get it all nice, get it running clean. And then I was going to pull the whole interior out of it because it's a mess inside. We're not even going to go look at it. Nope. Nope. We're going to pull the seats out of it, scrub everything, clean it all up. And then within the month, I planned on getting a front and a back bumper for it. There's nothing really wrong with that. It's just off a base model and there's no inserts. But the smack bumper's a different story.
Yeah, if you remember the Erie trip, we had some flapping in the wind.
It doesn't flap in the wind anymore. Although this front bumper, it kind of dicked itself. But I was going to do that. I was even going to go buy tires for it because the new set of tires I just put on it, I'm still having camber and toe issues.
Yeah. How many sets of tires you put on this thing so far?
I put more sets of tires on it than bumpers, and that's the real number you should look out for there. But I don't know. I'm hoping it's just something simple, timing related. Would like to bore scope it to see if when it was out of time, and when I was going down the road at one point after we got it back together, I made it about 1.5 miles from my house, and there was sounded like a charge pipe blew off, but then I noticed oil pressure light came on and all the gauges were dead. and it spun out of time. So, but that was because we didn't have that bolt for the crank tight enough. So we put a big ass pry bar, well, cheater bar on it, and reefed the shit out of it after that. I think I need new friction washers, which if I'm taking it back apart and doing it again, I'm probably going to get them because I think they're like $6, and that would save me a lot of headache. Because it's not bad when if the crank would just spin out, because you just roll these up around like I said, and then line the crank up, the pulley where it needs to go with the position sensor. But with this cam being off, I have to take that motor mount off, pull this, let me get a little light on the situation, pull this whole cover back off, and all the pulleys and all that shit and all the tensioner, and we have to fucking, oh, I took a brain fart there.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, pop.
But that all has to be done so you can take that bolt out and get it back to where it needs to be. I don't know. Hoping it's just a blunder in my head that I'm thinking I have to do that. But the way that this looks down here and how they're not lining up, I'm thinking that's probably what's going to happen. I was too cheap to go and buy a Symposer with a port on it because this already had a Symposer block off on it. So we just tapped that and found a little hose barb, Tractor Supply put in it. It works the same.
Is it blocked off or is it
No, I unplugged it. Okay. The lines, shit.
I think mine's
right here.
I think mine's just blocked off.
Yeah, yours is. If I ever get it back together, you can look at this for reference to see how it runs. What else eventful happened? We did drop a 10 mil down the turbo, but we got that back.
Did you save any of the videos your mental breakdowns?
No, I didn't take those. I'm out of 1/4-inch ratchets, so if anybody ever wants to donate one, that'd be cool. They kept skipping teeth, and then they met the wall and toolboxes and anything else in here that I could fucking hit. I thought I blew one through the window, but I didn't. It was all good. Yeah. They always say that they only show you pictures and videos of stuff when it's done and not the mental breakdowns in between. And that's true because it gets goddamn ugly. And I can tell you right now, I don't have patience to save my own ass. So it doesn't work out well. I usually get pissed off and go sit down or just say, the hell with it, go in the house, take a shit, a shower, and go to bed. And that's about what I'm going to do tonight. But it keeps getting colder and colder. And asshole's going to be putting salt on the road, so I can't be driving my truck. Mm-hmm. And I've also put like $90 in it the past 3 days, and I've gone nowhere.
I know where you could drive until
What's
you get
that?
this fixed. HHR.
I'll buy the HHR. And that's a serious statement right there. I would do that in a heartbeat. What else was pissed off? Oh, at first it was turning hard before I, left the ratchet on the crank. And shut up. Hey, nutsack. Garage dog.
What do you gotta say to the people, Lucky?
Tell them. Oh, yeah. But before I did that, in the process of walnut blasting all this, I got the alternator filled with a bunch of... He's having a fit. Filled with a bunch of walnut shells.
You having issues? Does this make you uncomfortable?
So I had a bunch of this nice fine particulate stuck in the alternator, and it was damn near locked up, but we got that all blown out and nice. And I did have a valve sticking because of it too. So if you're ever going to walnut blast your valves, it's probably just easiest to do it with the head off of the car. I don't know. I've learned a lot of things from this, and I think one of them is that you probably shouldn't buy a Focus ST, if we're going to be honest.
But on the other hand, if anybody wants to buy one, I know there's one and possibly two for sale.
I can tell you one thing. I like this car, and I would like to, you know, not have it. But before I sell it, I am going to get this fixed, and it will have a front and a back bumper and all the other little shit done. Mainly for the fact that I want to get my money out of it.
And I know one thing. Mine's worth more than what I paid for it. So if someone wants to buy it, there you go.
I did the NADA on mine, and I might have fibbed a little bit saying it was in excellent condition. But in excellent condition with 104K on it, it was like 19, and I could make some money off that. So, but at the same time, every other vehicle I've ever had that pissed me off and I got rid of afterward, I was like, damn, if I would have had a little bit more patience, I'd love to have that car still.
Yeah.
Case in point, the SVT. I keep seeing one on Facebook for $4,500, and it has me thinking dirty thoughts.
And this right here.
I actually messaged the guy about...
Motherfucker, okay, go ahead.
All right, we got a bad cameraman, and you get another cut in here. But back to the story about the SVT. Found one, $4,500, 03 black, Euro wheels with the regular package, just like I had before. Next, focusing on the dog. Same thing as I had before, and I messaged the guy saying, "Hey, car needs a front and back bumper. Like, what would you be able to give me for it?" And never heard anything back yet. But if he would be able to give me even a penny more than what my payoff is on this, and I could go back to running just an NA20 SVT, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Mainly because, well, me and my cousin have already had one of those apart before. I know what to look for in terms of what's going to be pissed up. And I sold the last one, well, smashed the last one for a dumb reason. So, thinking second time around might have a little bit more patience and a little more knowledge. And if I ever get bored with it, just find a 2.0 out of a junkyard escape or something. For seeing them pretty cheap. Throw that in there and have a fun little daily. But
if you can't tell from this video and the beaters that are gone but not forgotten, I think someone misses an SVT.
I miss it bad. Wait a minute. Shit paper.
Shithead.
Look at that. Just makes you sad. Oh, and if anybody out there has a set of pillar gauges for an ST, I got some cool glow shift shit I want to put in. But I lost the pillar or never had it. I don't know how that works. I don't know. But, yeah. If you want it, I'll make it pretty. If you don't want it, I'm probably just going to make it run.
If you want mine, mine's already pretty and it already runs.
You're trying to undermine me.
Comes with all the extra parts too. But yeah, I don't know if we'll put the rest of this in this video or make another video of the outcome of this whole disaster.
Make them wait. Suspense.
Make them wait.
Part 2 coming next week. Does it run or not? And then everybody sees me running around Armo in it. If it does run, I'll be like, well, I don't have to watch the video now.
Does it run or is it in ashes? Like and subscribe.